One love, Delta9 travelers. Welcome in to this special morning edition of Delta9 Media Live. We are live right now in the studio. We have all the recent updates for you coming in with everything that's going on with the MV Barima and a number of other things connected to it. There's a big row right now going on in the opposition. We're going to be getting into some of those details coming in from either side and a number of other headlines. Big up to all of the travelers who are live with us right now in this early morning presentation. If you can hear me and you can hear me clearly, Delta9 travelers, please and thank you. Drop a 9 into the comment section for me, please and thank you. Who is live with me right now? If you can hear me and you can hear me right now, we are live. Early morning. Who is live with me right now, Delta9 travelers? Who they in the live? Who they in the live? Moses, what's going on? Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of this early morning presentation. Listen, we got the most recent updates and we're going to get straight to it. Early morning time. No time to waste time. Straight into the headlines coming in from the Prime Minister giving us the most recent updates. And then we're going to get into some other headlines directly connected to this as well. Big up to all the travelers who are part of the presentation right now. As you come in, Delta9 travelers, you know the thing already, buddy. Thumbs up the live presentation as we get into these details right now.
Table. Same people, you're familiar with everybody at the table. Mr. Mandal is here, Assistant Commissioner Mandal is here with us, and I guess you're familiar with everybody else at the table. Okay?
Hold on.
Following the
Who is there with them? Mandal is there with them to give this report. Jeez, you me. Y'all hear the name that we're giving this report? I telling you, let me pull back a little bit and hear the one more time for the emphasis.
right? So basically, it's an update from where we left off yesterday to now. I'll quickly go through the update, and then you have your opportunity to ask questions. Of course, at the table, same people, you're familiar with everybody at the table. Mr. Mandal is here, Assistant Commissioner Mandal is here with us, and I guess you're familiar with everybody
Mandal in the house. Jeez, I telling you.
else at the table. Okay? Following the release of our last press statement at 1300 hours today, maritime assets and personnel from the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Brazilian Navy have arrived at the incident site and joined ongoing search, rescue, and recovery operations. Their teams will support diving operations and other specialized recovery activities. A total of 19 vessels and 3 aircraft are now engaged in the operations. The Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard and the Maritime Administration Department have deployed smaller vessels to conduct searches for the inland in an effort to locate any remaining passengers. Technical teams continue to carry out detailed assessments of the capsized vessel to determine the safest and most effective method of righting it, thereby improving access for the diving teams operating at the site. The current recovery plan involves repositioning the vessel before installing marine salvage airbags, also known as buoyancy balloons, around the wreckage to restore buoyancy. Once afloat, the vessel will be towed closer to the shoreline to facilitate further search and recovery operations. Since the previous update, 3 additional bodies have been, have been recovered, bringing the total number of bodies recovered today to 5. The total number of bodies recovered since the commencement of search and rescue operation now stands at 65, of which 44 have been positively identified by family members. To date, 23 of those identified have been released to their families. Regional authorities, together with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, continue to work closely with grieving relatives to facilitate the release of the deceased for funeral rites and burials. The number of rescued passengers and crew remains unchanged at 76. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali has declared 3 days of national mourning in honor of those who lost their lives in this tragedy. During this period, all national flags are to be flown at half mast. Today, Wednesday, the 22nd, July 2026, has also been declared a National Day of Prayer. Members of the public are invited to gather at the Kingston Seawall at 1800 hours or 6 p.m. today for a national service of prayer and reflection.
Well, I tell you, the prayer and the reflection. Welcome in Delta 9 travelers, and greetings to all of those that are with us right now. Black Gold, thanks for being a part of the live. France Queen, big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation. Good morning to you as well. Grand rising to all the travelers in the chat with us. Denise, Grand rising. Thanks for being a part of this live presentation. So many things for us to get into. I'm gonna ask moderation if they're in the live with us to pull up that piece as we're right at the point where the PM is mentioning, you know, the meetup that was supposed to happen, the prayer vigil that was supposed to happen at the seawalls. Well, persons went over there and there was a protest. Yeah, persons went over there with their placards and protested. And we got to highlight some of those details right here in this presentation so that persons can see some of what went down just last night. And if that's a precursor, then I'm guessing that, listen, we got a lot to look forward to with this right now. Big up to all of those that are going to catch this one in the rewind in the future. Listen, we got so many headlines for us to get into, so many things. Melly Mel had a big back and forth with the opposition team. And the opposition team had some answers as well. We're going to analyze and try to figure out what's going on with that on this live presentation, as well as some updates coming in from the survivors of this tragedy. I tell you, we'll hear some more from the PM.
A night of reflection, a night of reflection and prayer will be held at Port Kaituma on Thursday, the 23rd of July 2026, and in Mabaruma on Friday, the 24th of July 2026. The government of Guyana remains steadfast in its commitment to supporting the ongoing recovery effort, providing assistance to affected families, and ensuring that every available resource continues to be deployed until the operation is complete. I thank you. Having read the press statement, we now have an opportunity to answer questions posed by you, media.
Sir, is your working figure of the number of passengers in the vessel still 179?
It is still 179.
Good afternoon. On the first day, you were asked about, at the first press conference, you were asked about the availability of the GDF helicopters, why it was that only one went up. You said that you were not aware that the two were down. Have you been able to find out? Can you tell us today whether or not there was meant to be more helicopters up in the early hours of the rescue? And if so, why were they not? And have you found out about the state of the helicopters?
Well, you asked a question of whether there were supposed to be more helicopters up. The fact is the GDF used what was available, and what was available was one helicopter, one serviceable helicopter, and that was used. There are two other helicopters in the fleet of helicopters in the GDF, and those two other helicopters are down for maintenance. They're waiting some part that was ordered, and as soon as the part comes, it will be installed, and the helicopter will be go through the process that will require it to be certified and be ready to fly again. Right? They're still awaiting the arrival in Guyana of the parts for the helicopter.
And I don't know if you would be able to tell us by now if the captain is still, if any decision was taken regarding his arrest. Is he still in current? Is he still in the lockups? Is he out on station bail? Have the police reached a stage where they can say if uh, whether they've decided to charge him or what charges are likely to be brought?
My understanding is the captain is detained and he remains detained.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Prime Minister, follow up with that could you confirm that there's a third person who is also in custody?
My understanding there's a third person, one Mr. Grandison, who is now detained.
Has he been charged yet with any offense?
Is there any charges against Mr. Grandison? No. No charges yet.
Gordon, most news source, I think it may be 72 hours now since the captain had been in custody. Was any approaches made to the court? Do we know anything about that? For the extension of that time?
Yes, an extension of, the court was approached for extension of time.
And Mr. Prime Minister, through you to the THD, I've noticed based on photographs and videos we see coming in from the area, and there's a media team out there today, that while we receive bodies come up, and so you're not seeing life jackets. So we were told there were 250 life jackets on board this vessel. Were these life jackets locked away? What was the accessibility to them? Because you're hearing the survival stories, and they're talking about clinging
This is a good question. A real good question, Delta9
but we're not
travelers.
even seeing
Yeah.
life jackets closing up. So were those life jackets locked away on the vessel?
You can answer.
You or, well, Gordon, I've gone on this vessel several times. Life jackets are above where passengers sit, at the side of where passengers sit, never locked away. And if you recall, Mr. Harris Singh telling the whole nation by way of his video, one of the reasons why he was able to ascertain where the boat was.
Who's this person, man? Chatrani. Thanks for tuning in. Nonetheless, but guess what? Who is everything happens in Guyana? You guys. Who's you guys that you're talking to? Are you a Guyanese, Chatrani? Who else can we blame if this vessel is a government vessel? Who else is accountable? Clearly, you're going to hear the government identify the reality that they are the ones responsible for compensation, given that there is no insurance on government vessels. All right? And with great responsibility, right? That's the position of the president. That's what it comes with, great responsibility. So persons tend to, hold you accountable for certain things. But I don't know. I don't know what's your rationale, but I guess that, you got your perspective as well. But you could call it in, we could have a conversation about it, or you could clarify some more, but yeah, but I don't know where that perspective is coming from. New Year some more.
Located when he saw the life jackets coming up in plastic, which means they were brand new.
And in terms
Wow. So it was coming up in plastic, but it wasn't coming up on people. That's the point that's being made. Big up yourself, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. Grand Rising, welcome on to Delta9 Media Live.
Bless him, brother. Bless him, love,
Grand Rising, King. What's going on?
yeah.
Same to you, King. What's going
I
on?
was, I got cool, man. I was reading that same comment, and
Yeah,
it showed you the level of Guyanese people in Guyana.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
It showed the depth and level of Guyanese people in Guyana, the understanding and the knowledge, and who really they're fighting for. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And Jatran is not the only person. They have different ethnicity that saying the same thing too. So it's like if it was Apnu, then it would be Apnu responsibility.
Yeah,
it would be nobody else's responsibility. You know what I mean?
The lack of unity is bringing on a argument that ain't making no sense at all. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what's going on all the time.
This is not a political thing. There's not a political thing, and the only reason why you're hearing persons addressing the government is because it's a government vessel, and they're the ones directly responsible for what's going on. Oh, hold on. Let's play this part because Chatrani might not know about this. She might not know that Mr. Ejil would have said this in Parliament. Right?
Mr. Chairman, the new vessel that is expected to come on stream would be the MV Militia, which is en route to Guyana. It has left port.
What with the MV Militia, right? He promised the MV Militia more than 36 months ago. So when the MV Militia don't come online soon enough and this happens, who we gonna call on? Who got the majority in the house? We can't call nobody else because they don't got no authority to make decisions in accordance with how we political system running. I'm just saying. Yeah.
This is a party boat, bro. This is not a transportation boat for civilized people. That is a party boat for family, friends, and favorite. But I'm not going to tell you the other two airplanes to this for.
I tell
you understand?
You guys have the two of their far. Like, yeah.
That's the level.
Now
you got tragic, a national incident like this. And you not brief the opposition and make a opposition the government together. Only when it's Venezuela trying to attack Guyana, then you want a national unity. Then you see what's going on in this country.
Representation is weak. Yeah. A divided house could never stand strong. It's always going to have problems and it's always going to be moving halfway.
And then you go, oh, the opposition you want to sign on to this, and the opposition you want to sign on to that, because Venezuela is a national threat. This is a national disaster upon every country. Almost 150 people dying. You understand, brother?
Real thing.
You have to know they can't get no definitive answer.
By midday, they're supposed to try to move the vessel.
And how much weight this vessel carrying.
By midday, they're supposed to try to move. Yeah, by midday, they're supposed to try to move the vessel. So let's hope when they do try to move it that, they unearth as many discoveries as possible and persons get some type of closure, you understand, to what's going on, RT. Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in.
Because one more thing that look at the guy who was a Marine who work on vessels.
Yeah.
They fail to strap these things down. And that is what killed a lot of people. I say that. That is what killed a lot of people.
They can't strap down. They can't strap down things, but
and then you water jump.
You can't strap down thing. You can't strap down thing, go the thing overload. You gotta find little space and wrap on down, wrap on. It can't hold the weight. It can't hold the weight. Big up to all the travelers coming in right now. Please and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the thumbs up button. Send this one into the algorithm. Early morning flight with Delta9 Media. Let's hear some more.
In terms of the number of life jackets on board, I know the Transport and Harbors General Manager yesterday said the capacity was 394 passengers. But we're hearing
Greetings. You're on to Delta9 Media Live. Grand rising to you. What's going on? Mm-hmm.
I got a few things to say.
Yeah.
First of all, what's the name of the lady that just got from Sharon? Where you talk about, she has no clue. These people are party loyalists. They are loyal to the party, regardless what they see.
You gotta be loyal. You gotta be loyal to the country first, and then your
They're
party.
not about the country first. They're about the party first.
Party. Hey, don't forget what happened in 1945 in India. They will keep playing around and act like we could continue to live divided on one piece of land, and opportunists wouldn't take the opportunity to control it forever. 1945, India. Check it out for yourself. It's not I'm making it up.
No, the next thing, now the president had a press conference. Well, I watched it here yesterday. And he talked to survivors and victims, you know, who ones who lost the family on the boat.
Yeah.
Now, he sell them a lot of beer. I call it beer. Now, first of all, let's tell these people, some of these people could see don't even got it. So there is these people there are. There's no fund created by the government to assist these people in burying their loved ones. These people that sit there, that's why right now I would say. And why I'm gonna tell you, I have no sympathy for not for the adults. I'm very sympathized with the young kids that died.
Yeah.
That they had no choice to go on that boat. The adults took them on that boat. You sit there, hear the president telling you a bunch of garbage. And when he asks you guys if you agree with what you're doing and if you approve of it, you guys don't sit there and say, yes.
Yep. Because you know something with we all Guyanese don't like confrontations, and sometimes you got to speak and say it loud.
Don't like confrontation.
No, I said sometimes. I said sometimes. Yeah.
In a time like this is where your energy and your strength gotta go, bro. Don't they confrontize the neighbor, say something, you see the neighbor wrong, you know, to fight or this or blues.
Yeah. That's why. Well, in these situations, remember now. Yeah, listen here.
They should have stood up and said, President Tiago, I can't afford to bury 5 of my own, 6 of my own.
Yeah.
Why is the financial support from you guys, seeing that you guys is who in charge of this theory that went down, that leave me in sadness, in tears, and in mourning.
Again, my brother, listen to this. That's the point that we was making, because the government is the one that is picking up the insurance bill for the vessel. So they got to cover all of that by right, and they shouldn't even have to ask for it because it comes direct.
If it didn't mention, if by right you stand up, you stood up, you hear the crap, and you left with holding the shop, and you're not saying nothing at Guyanese.
Yeah.
You see the weakness and the encouragement of Guyanese people in Guyana.
Yeah.
Of this government, God, they are telling the government you could do what you want and say what you want, and we don't, they're okay. No, it's not okay, bro.
I'm telling you, it's definitely not. Pick up yourself.
You don't know what I mean, like, how you gonna say, oh, you got people this and you got this. They
they detect them to the cleaners. Yeah, I'm telling you, it would have been a show. A law firm would have picked it up and pick other law firms to come and work with them, and it would have been a show. You know what I mean? Big up yourself, Al. Thanks for calling in. I telling you, yeah, we gotta really take this thing and take it to the point where persons start to realize, listen, we got to hold who's accountable. We can't look at it as a party thing. We can't look at it as a, oh, because I support this political side or that political side. It's about the country first. It's about humanity first. Look, there's more than 50 children that would have met their demise in that watery torture. Right? Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. That's not something that we could just leave, and say, oh, we're gonna not hold persons accountable for it because of this or because of that. Not at all. Big up to all the travelers that are live with us right now. Let's hear a little bit more about what's going on the ground right now. Because listen, just recently at the same presentation that the PM was speaking about, this went down.
Capable of removing the pain you now carry.
I'm going to talk about the confrontation is what pointing out.
Stand beside
You
you,
say anything and you say too strong,
pray with you, and assure
you're
you
not already.
that you will not face
No,
ahead
you can't.
alone.
You can't speak in this place. Where's Susan?
Tonight, we remember those who boarded the vessel, expecting to arrive safely at their destination. They were parents and children, relatives and friends.
I'm trying to pass the Chicago, telling you, hey, yeah, that could be a real place.
What? This is too much. That's too much.
Imagine all of that went down in the country and people can't even protest with a placard for their family members and their loved ones. Right? You can't say nothing openly going left towards the present status quo or else. You see what's going on right there.
That's too much. The person, you're not in the uniform. Why are you pushing the person? This is not the place for it, please. This is not the place for
Those who mourn. We ask him to strengthen the injured and the survivors. We also pray for those still awaiting word of relatives for whom
What we're looking at is the treatment of those who chose to protest yesterday or last night, we should say, at the candlelight vigil for those who would have lost their life on the MV Barima tragedy. This is what went down with them.
the rescue and recovery operation. This is our primary focus.
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
Yeah, Delta.
Yo,
Remember the Prime Minister said it in his statement,
yeah.
I hope that don't start no disturbances and singing. He don't give the signal.
No,
that
but
nobody should take the road.
but persons are gonna be upset, rightly so. You know what I'm saying? Like persons got the right to feel upset about things like this. You won't feel so about it. People can't come to the placard, let them protest, and then you come and talk to them and try to see if you could get them to come over to your side where they rest some of that frustration and deal with it a different way. But you can't arrest them. Like come on now. So they family in the ground and they in a cell. That's messed up.
You see a new other vigil somewhere else.
Mhm.
And if all of them would have up that card and singing and chanting, no police will go there to disturb them. But you know why they moved those people there?
Yeah.
because the Prime Minister there, and all the government, most of the government there is in there, so that they don't want to look that people protesting. And that is what they want to do, silence the Guyanese people. And Guyanese people need to stand up.
They need to stand up and sound the voice. Real thing.
We need to stand up against this dictatorship.
Real thing.
Look how U.S. government refused Maduro because what? He's a dictator. Why we get a president dictating what's going on in our country? And the U.S. is not removing him.
That's a question right there.
Yes, it is clear that Maduro is a dictator. So why in our country we have dictator president and the United States is not removing him?
That's the thing.
It's just showing that that is double standard.
I think the looking.
You know why, like when the president was speaking among those families. You know where I said just now when I was mentioned, bro, that why don't people sit down there and allow that president to pull him out with all we got pull him out and no one get up and say anything.
Powerful.
You know
That's
what
a powerful.
back?
Yep.
But when he visit Guyana
and the smile. Yeah.
And she said, no, Mr. President, you want to talk to? You push things on a black road, so don't call people trouble. That's the strength we want as Chinese. People must stand up against the dictator government.
Powerful point. Thanks for calling in.
That's it.
Yeah, thanks for calling in and dropping them points. There's a serious thing because if you just sit down or you just stand up and you don't say nothing, you're not there and you say, okay, remember that gone into the record. You had your chance to voice. You had your chance to, make your opinion heard. And I think a lot of persons are going to do the same because, listen, people are not going to let a family life go down just like that, I could tell you that. And it's clearly, as we can see, it seems like that's going to be the trend with what's going on right there. If you protest, then they're putting hands on you.
President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali stated.
Unless you just.
And we continue to deploy all possible resources. Nice work. Fishermen and other volunteers have been funded promptly.
They should be moving for 1 year. That's going to happen. So they're not going to happen anymore. Yeah, but you that's right. Sorry, right?
Innocent life last. I bet you it had a flare gun or a gun will shoot up in the air. The flare gun will shoot up in the air. I bet you had none of that. There's a boat with us up on top water tap every other day or every other night, traveling miles. And I bet you had no fire flare gun will shoot up in the air because they only had the gun will shoot up in the air. When the incident been going on there and they shoot up in the air, you just always get fishermen on the sea nighttime. And enough people been gonna get rescued. Because they only had the gun and shoot them up in the air, enough people gonna say, but no. Guyana is a fucking cowboy country that don't care. Now how we can talk thing here now? They want to put things in fucking place. But the incident there, no flight done last already. What if we do first, then we do last. This is how this government does think. They will wait for something happen. Then they got to do what they got to go and do when things don't happen. And if be certain, I bet my life, they may have no fire flare gun on top of the fucking boat. None. Because if they had done enough like you see, because I get fishermen is up on top sea night time fishing in. There's enough little innocent life gone down the fucking drain there. People who ain't see life yet, gone down the fucking drain. I bet y'all, our talk number 5, they're gone, y'all gonna see how they'll put things in place.
There's a question that really needs to be asked as well. You understand? Did they have a flare gun? Did they fire the flare gun? Was persons able to now come over to the area where this flare was glowing and able to save anyone when the vessel went down? A number of things we gotta analyze, Delta9 travelers. Big up yourself and thanks for being a part of this live presentation.
There's a boat was traveling miles every fucking other day. Miles in Atlantic Ocean. And you tell me, you not put system in place for certain things, buddy? Eh? Plus, the maybe was he had no small emergency boat, nothing on top the fucking steam or what it's called it. The Barima. Bet you them had no small emergency boat, nothing. Because them in K, them is cowboy fucking country, guys, a cowboy country, them no fucking K.
The total safety equipment was 250 life jackets, 6 inflatable rafts, which could carry 25 passengers each, and 2 rigid, that's what we call it, rigid rafts, which could also carry 25 passengers.
Mr. Edgel, based on your experience with the ferry services and perhaps the regulator cases as well, what has been the level of compliance with respect to the use of life jackets by people who use the ferries, not the speedboats?
I would leave that for the DG to answer, because he will tell you what the requirement.
Say years. I mean the corruption in terms of selling tickets and the boat being overcrowded and all these things. When I say happening for years, I'm talking about ever since I was a child and myself traveled on that very same boat with my grandmother going into Region 1. So there's so many things that went wrong. There's so many things that happen that there's not one particular issue that we can pinpoint as to what went wrong. What we do know, what we know for certain is that there was a boat that was overloaded, that was outdated, that had engine failure, that was.
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Live.
So one thing why you see a lot of people named and adults are not listed to again, my brother, because all the ferries them, they hear that they do online booking.
Yes.
Okay, my brother. But that is another part of online booking. You book for 20 people and then you give names.
Yeah.
But it's not all 20 of them. It's the person that's going.
Okay.
So you're gonna go now and sell over those tickets to other people. Because at the end of the day, remember it's first come, first serve.
Every time. And there's always get some type of running going.
Again, brother.
Yeah.
Again, why come to a press conference and you don't have information to give people?
What type of conferences though? Mickey Mouse show?
Bro,
nothing to say, right?
They can't do that in US, bro. Them reporters will eat them alive. They will be on TV 24/7, bro. Every 24/7, every day of the week. They will be on TV.
Well, you see, it's up to the persons. It's up to the persons that
Listen, question, answering. It's like you have no clue.
I've seen a number of persons still trying to hold their foot to the fire on certain issues and certain questions as well, but not enough from my perspective, because it should have been way more hot interviews coming in, and the questions should be a bit more challenging, because listen, if we don't stand up for we, nobody ain't gonna stand up for we, buddy. It's not coming. Don't look for it, because it's not coming. We are the ones that got to make sure that this is up, go the way that it should go, or else I'm telling you, the next situation is going to be so terrible. And there will be nothing because guess what? Persons allowing things to continue to bill and bill and bill and bill and bill. People got to be held accountable. Yeah.
I believe we want to wish a management whereby on that water top, once the ferry traveling all those hours, they must get emergency located in strategic areas.
Yes. And they must get emergency equipment like a flare gun, like different navigation equipment, like, safety boats connected to the vessel. And people were talking about persons having access to the very live vests. Because yeah.
Listen, bro, they said the captain sent out a distress signal or voice note or whatever. Bro, when you listen to this thing, it's like somebody just arguing. Oh, me drunk it from save me. That is, I don't understand if there's the captain, bro. Because the first thing the captain is supposed to give is location.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the first thing supposed to be happening. Location.
Yep.
We so much money ask for so much way. But the engine turn on wherever island, location is so important.
Very, very.
Come save me. Just turn off the bottom come. That's good.
Serious times,
We need to get emergency at every port. We could take you about 20 or less minutes to reach at any disaster.
You know what that means? The money got spent with supposed to spend, buddy. This what means, my buddy. The money got spent with supposed to spend. The money that they for do it, and persons are willing to do it, but they ain't want to do it for next to nothing, and they want to do it in a way that is gonna compromise the self. So we gotta put people in the positions because the funds is there.
It's very cold down is there. It's very cold down, player in the place, and then the thing superstar wearing and shouting.
Wow.
The cold down send that player.
I telling you. So the brother was right. The brother was right. He was highlighting about the flare and them not having access to something as simple as that. There's a simple thing, man. Big up yourself, King. Thanks for calling in.
Because the primary mentioned that.
Yeah.
Figures to the players. Figures the war players. There's a dumb we Prime Minister dumb, bro. No proper information. He got it before he comes to a press conference.
Big up yourself. I telling you. Persons are definitely understandably upset. You're talking about more than 100 persons that would have lost their life in this tragedy. Big up yourself, PA. Thanks for being a part of the live. And thanks for being moderation on this early morning flight. Thanks for tuning in to all the travelers. Everybody that can catch it in the rewind in the future. Big up yourself. Same way.
Condemned, that wasn't supposed to be used, that wasn't supposed to be traversing that water, that wasn't supposed to be traveling and taking human lives anywhere. That is what we do know. What we do know that boat sank, and with it we lost 100 and something lives. Now the question is, who is going to take that response? Because we already see the government playing the victim blaming, and the engineer and the captain is locked up and all these things. Because if it's one thing this government knows how to do, is not to take responsibility for anything, especially when the lives of citizens are lost. Pastor London.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And I must say, well put. Again, it's always a pleasure to share the platform with you, Norman, and in this case, with one who I know, I've always said is very courageous, more courageous than many men with whom I interact. I can tell you what has happened in two terms, a legal term. It is called involuntary manslaughter.
Wow.
one Edgel, well, Onij Waldron said that, Onij or Nij, whatever your name is, that anyone who shares misinformation will be arrested. Well, I hope you come with the police when I finish talking today. Because this is what is called involuntary manslaughter. It is reckless behavior that led to the death of so many Guyanese. And unfortunately, none from the cabinet went down with the vote. That's the only unfortunate thing in this whole situation, that the entire cabinet didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Go
I
ahead,
have
Apostle.
many long speeches today, Norman. No, I'm not even at the edge. I'm over the edge when it comes to this PVP administration. And I only hope that there are 50 more people like me in this country who are over the edge. And they'll get the message pretty quickly. Because this is involuntary manslaughter. It is a stage or a degree of murder, not first degree. I wouldn't say they plan to do this to anybody. They decide and say we kill people. But what I know is they made a decision that this vessel must travel at all costs because they were not on it. And their children were not on it. And certain key people were not on the same vessel. So that is what has happened. And it is obvious that this nation is led by someone and a wife who are both uncaring and equally reckless in how they conduct themselves in this situation. But we'll discuss that further, I'm sure, as you would lead in the discussion.
Apostle Nigel, Eliakim there, and Melissa and Atwell. Apostle, I wanted to hear from you your personal view.
Can I add something to what Apostle said?
Yes, go
he
ahead.
made mention before I lose my chain of thought. He made mention of the Minister Onij making mention of that they are going to be there. We're gonna lock up everybody if you share any misinformation or anything. So what happens? What happens is Pastor London and Norman Brown, and for those of you that are listening to the live, and for those of you who have been following me for years and years and years, you can attest to this. I've been saying this all the time. What happened is when the PPP and their ministers and those in office, right? Their head are so far up their asses. I'm sorry for. I'm trying my best not to cause Pastor London.
Speak.
Out of respect for you. Their head are so far up their asses, right? That when something like this happens, when a national tragedy like this happens, disaster like this happens, they instantly go into defense mood. So they have all the little trolls come out, and they have all the little paid cronies and influencers, and they're coming out and putting out statement and saying this and trying to twist the narrative. They try to control the narrative. And by her doing that is her trying to control the narrative. So let me get this. So government boat, government passenger, transportation and harbor, government institution, responsible for the lives of more than 200 of our Amerindian brothers and sisters, traveling on a ferry that was condemned, that was 87 years old, that wasn't supposed to be transporting anybody, was overweight, captains, driver, everybody was drinking, who was not high. It was something they do all the time. Children, no life jacket. Half of them didn't have life jacket. Overcrowded. And so all of this happened. We lost 100 and something lives on that boat. But yet still, here is what we're going to do. We're going to tell these people, all right, that had this horrible experience and their family, don't speak about it. So they killed.
And if you protest,
you killed us. Right? You killed our family. You killed our friends. You killed our brother or sister. Because everybody on that boat, somebody, brother, sister, mother, cousin, somebody. And then now you're coming to tell us, that we can't speak about it, or we can't speak on it. We can't share any information. We can't share our experience. We can't say what happened, because then the government is going to turn around and charge us for sharing misinformation and causing public mischief and cyber crimes. That is the number one playbook of the PPP. Cyber crimes. Let's charge them. Let's lock them up for saying anything or speaking about anything as it relates to this strategy. Let's do
And
that. Let's lock them up.
And you're absolutely correct.
And that's a crazy approach because persons are gonna have perspectives about what's going on right here that might not connect and might not agree. And if you analyze what's going on the ground, days, and they still gathering the remains of persons that went down in this tragedy, right? Days after persons is still missing. Francie Queen said, say how them feel. Yeah, real thing. The people have to say how they feel, real thing. They got to. PA is saying that the death toll will be 115. I'm telling you, plus or more. There's so much going on with that, you know. So much going on with that. So much going on with that.
Competence we talk about coming from the PPP. They don't care. They just don't care.
Greetings, you're on to Delta9 Media Love.
Yeah, Delta, with that thing what the Home Affairs Minister bring out.
Yeah.
I want Guyanese people to don't be afraid. Share what you have to share. You know what is the active word here, bro? Knowingly. So if I don't know, I'm going to share. You can't jail me because I don't know. But if I knowingly that this is going to cause this and whatever, then you could jail me. So the active word here is knowing.
Knowingly.
So don't be afraid, Frankie. Share what you have to share. Share what you have to say.
Real thing.
Because you could go in front of the court, and you could say, Magistrate, I did not know. They can't jail you. Because the word is knowingly. So if I don't know, I share. Because I need answer. And when I share, then I'm going to get answer. And then probably I'm going to know no. If you say no, you have to convince me that this is false. You got to prove to me, you the government, you got to prove to me that the boat was an overload. The boat, they had sufficient this. The boat had sufficient that. You know what's the funny thing here, bro?
Yeah.
And I want the government to listen to this. When last do they have a course, a refresher course of maritime safety with all the boat operators,
like
all the port, this and everybody? Because 17 of them was on board. And only 3 have been counted for. So that means you and I want AGL to bring out the record and show the Chinese people to their about safety, and everything. That's the important thing here.
Real thing.
It's going to show you for over 20 years they didn't even have one. And mind you, everybody been, every time, every day, people getting employed.
Big up yourself. Thanks for calling.
So when you have for saying that these people know what they're doing, because it looks like nobody know what they were doing.
Seems like they run the drill. Seems like their man ran that drill in probably like about quarter the time that the boat might have been wrong or a little less, because what was going on with the standard operating procedure, you know?
Exactly. Exactly, bro, because that's what I tell you. If water, so what a man in land who's either in that area with water. That's what I tell the captain something. Yo, then we got closer to land. In the event of something happen, then we see what's going on. Then we send out a signal right away.
I'm telling you.
It's in case of so because it's emergency. Alert.
So
Coast Guard could drive within some radio, some distance in case of emergency. So that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They did not, and this year must, the opposition leaders them must ask for this to in Parliament when they go Monday. When last they had they listen, my brother.
Yeah. One love to all the persons on the chat right now. Thanks for being a part of this special presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, did you take a couple of seconds to make sure that you thumbs up the live? It costs you nothing. But guess what? It helps to boost the video and support everything that's going on right here on Delta9 Media. So hit that thumbs up button and help persons around the globe to stay updated with all of these important headlines. We're going to hear right now from the MP coming in from the APNU, highlighting some of the details and the new updates about what's going on with MV Barima.
And so we want to ask at this time for an independent investigation. We don't want cat to watch milk. So don't come around here and tell us that you have your people to do the investigation. Hell no. Because they're not going to tell us the truth. You know, already we've gotten calls from some of the workers there. Some of the sailors who were...
Yeah.
Right? Remember we talked about the old bus them in New York, right?
Yeah.
Now, when the first replaced these old bus was in the city, Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan, you know, Park Avenue place.
Yeah.
What the people of Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens did, they protest.
Yep.
Because they find it wasn't balanced. It was like a discrimination.
Yeah.
So they have to bring the bus them into the city. Now, see how this is going on? And I talk, the Guyanese are waiting for things to happen before they could talk about it. And when some of these things happen, they say what they say. But when the government comes to face them, they shut them out tight. You see? So why you quarreling among
But let me be real about it though, right? Sometimes, right, they might just be moving wise because guess what? If they really voice certain opinions, which they should, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but I think it needs to be a group. They needs to get some type of representative and voice the opinion like that, so they can't just strike out at any one person that is, you know, coming forward and speaking how they feel about certain things. Because a lot of persons are going to be very upset about this situation. As you can hear, a lot of the victims are done speaking out already. Yeah.
Now, the other protest at the seawall, right? The thing with these protests is, yes, do call for, but the amount of people there don't make sense. You understand me?
Yeah.
But when they have a protest that affect a nation in America, they got protests in Brooklyn, Manhattan, or sometimes protests in New York, New Jersey. Every state comes out and protests. You understand me? Now, it's such a crisis. You get people like chicken, like little chicken feed protesting. You think the government gonna take these people serious?
I think the momentum is gonna up, you know. The momentum is gonna get more thicker as it progresses closer to funeral time and as more discoveries come up. I think the momentum is gonna get more steep.
Yeah, the momentum, but the action is one. You could be momented, you could be have the fire for do what you wanna do.
Yeah.
But it's you're gonna put that fire that you blazing in you to action. And that's what the Guyanese people don't do. They are upset, but they are not acting on how they feel.
Yeah.
They are just speaking on how they feel. What your grandmother and your mommy, your parents and them all tell you? Action, speak.
Louder than words. Every
it's
time.
Just like Ali coming front to them, they didn't do nothing. They sit there and say yes. Like, yes, man. That's why these people could come and say they are proud of slaves. And these are not just black people they're talking about. They're talking about the people them who beneath them and complain about what it does. And when they give them a little money, they shut up.
I telling you, big up yourself, King. It's a sad situation when we think about it, you know. But you know what? Is the situation that a lot of our people find themselves in because of the way that, listen, the opportunities and the way that they're being kept, just cut off from certain situations that can put them in better positions so people can take advantage of them. You know? We hear some more from the MP before we continue.
Not on the shift, who have received threatening calls that they should not speak to any media house. They should not speak to the opposition. Why do you want to tell them not to speak? Why you don't want the truth to come out? You should allow the captain to be free that you've held right now and allow him to speak. Let him come out and speak. Release the captain and let him speak. But y'all don't want to do that because he will speak and he will speak the truth.
I'm telling you, a person saying release Capo. Capo got the conversation that is going to crack the case wide open. People saying release the captain. Yeah. We all think about what the MP is highlighting right there. Should the captain be released and thoroughly questioned as part of what's going on with this investigation? I'm telling you, we hope it's not another Norris King situation we're watching at, you know. Big up to all the travelers live with us right now. And the poll question is up on the screen. Was the police arrest of an activist at the candlelight vigil justified? No. Total political suppression. Yes, the police are maintaining order. And the other option is need more details on the ground. I'm telling you. 20%, 20%, 60%. The poll question is up on the channel right now. Participate. What do you think? Was the police arrest of the activists at the candlelight vigil justified? What you got for say about that? Drop it into the poll question participation so we could analyze it as right thinking Guyanese. I know what right thinking people is do. We just hear directly from the persons that used to take care of the boat about some of the problems that the boat might get before the people them that taking care of it now, so we could understand from both sides what really taking place. Let's hear these details, and then we're gonna hear some more survivor stories directly from those affected. Big up to all the travelers live with us right now. Was the police arrest of the activists justified or not? Let's hear.
It is a matter of public safety. From the 1990s until 2020, the general and specific repairs were undertaken by established contractors, including GNIC and Courtney Ben Contracting Services.
Okay.
Because of the age of the vessel, several structural components had to be specifically fabricated overseas by specialist companies. These long-standing arrangements mattered. They helped ensure that the vessel had access to the specialist parts, knowledge, and technical support required to keep an aging vessel operating as safely as possible. After the change in administration, those arrangements were disturbed. Contracts previously awarded to Courtney Ben were withdrawn, and that company was forced into liquidation. GNIC is no longer operational after its dockyard was repossessed by NISA.
Wow.
As a result, maintenance and servicing of the MV Barima were handed to another company whose primary business was fishing. Let me be clear. This is not a personal attack on any contractor. The real issue is whether the critical link to the specialist fabrication, replacement parts, and proven maintenance systems for a vessel of this age was broken. That question must be examined carefully by independent maritime experts. Records will show that the MV Barima was docked in November 2015 and underwent a comprehensive rehabilitation. That work included new engines, new shaft, new hull works, and upgrades to the cargo and the passenger areas. The vessel returned to full operation in March 2017. It took 18 months to rehabilitate it completely. Between 2017 and 2020, records also indicate that the vessel underwent its required maintenance cycles and was deemed seaworthy up to that period. However, even with those efforts, the administration at that time understood that the remaining effective lifespan of the vessel was limited. This is why, through a grant and loan arrangement provided by the Government of India, designs were advanced for the procurement of a new vessel for the Northwest route. Following an independent tender process, a successful bidder was selected. That award was challenged by the subsequent further technical review, confirmed that the original decision and contractor was correct, as the vessel proposed by the successful bidder was superior in all aspects. On return to office, the PPP reversed
Good.
and awarded the contract
So we hear details about the vessel.
Full bidder. The result.
So we get some details about the vessel and the person that was responsible. Other party was in power, so we could get some understanding of what really taking place, you know. Y'all hear what Honorable Mr. Patterson would have just highlight about the history of what's going on with the MV Barima, right? Big up to all the travelers live right now with us. But guess who we got to hear from right now? MP Amansa.
About the signing.
Because remember, she's the person with the maritime legal experience. So she can now tell me all the legal implications that the government literally don't find itself in, and best make sure that we proceed in the way that we should, because listen, there's a lot of implications with this, you know, when it comes down to maritime law. Let's hear directly from MP Amansa.
Blame. It is about establishing the facts and identifying the safety failures that have allowed the tragedy to occur. It examines every aspect of the occurrence, including the vessel's maintenance history, surveys, certification, inspections, operational management, regulatory oversight, and the actions and decisions that contributed to the casualty. Its purpose is to determine not only what happened, but why it happened and how do we prevent it from happening again. I want to note here that last evening at the government's press conference, Prime Minister Mark Phillips repeatedly referred to a commission of inquiry. And that reference in and of itself raises an important legal consideration. Which commission of inquiry? Is the government proposing a commission of inquiry established under the Commissions of Inquiry Act? Is it referring to the formal investigation provided for under Part 18 of the Guyana Shipping Act? Or is it referring to the marine safety investigation required under the International Maritime Casualty Investigation Code? And it matters. It matters because these are not interchangeable terms. They are very distinct, separate legal processes with different purposes, different powers, and different legal consequences. Most importantly, the marine safety investigation required by the International Maritime Organization Casualty Investigation Code is not optional. And I want to emphasize that the government does not have a choice. It is not optional. It is a mandatory safety investigation that Guyana is required to conduct following a very serious maritime or marine casualty, because we have signed on and we are signatories to the International Maritime Organization. And I want to be clear that a commission of inquiry cannot replace that investigation. One exists to improve safety. The other examinations or investigations may examine broader questions of public administration, the question of accountability, and culpability. So they cannot be interchanged. Point to note as well is that a commission of inquiry takes considerable time. Meanwhile, evidence is lost, memories fade, and opportunities to establish facts disappear. This is precisely why the legal framework requires that a marine safety investigation begin immediately.
Immediately, persons are saying, listen, this should have started since the day of. A lot of things, it seems like persons are dragging their foot on, right? A lot of these things persons are complaining about. And we're definitely going to make sure that we highlight a lot of these details right here on this live presentation. Big up to all the travelers in the live with us right now. Right now, we're going to hear from some of the survivors. We're going to get some of the survivors so we could get these stories down into the record, because these is the things that they're trying to brush over, you know. These is the things that they would rather not highlight. And before we jump into that, definitely we always going to say condolences to the family members and the loved ones, and rising power to our everlasting energy, all of those that would have transcended because of this tragedy right here. Let's hear from some of the survivors right now.
Well, normally he gets home like every week actually, and sometimes he take about 2 weeks to be home. And reason being because I would call because a custom for him to be home like every week. And when I call, if 2 weeks pass, he would say the boat break down. The boat engine break down. They gotta wait until it fix. All right. I wasn't home. I was overseas on vacation. And I got the news from my neighbor. She called me 3 in the morning. And then I call home. I say, I'll call up people and find out if this thing is true. What it was. I only got back here this morning. All right. I spoke to him Friday. That was our last conversation. Told me the boat finished loading. So Saturday, they're going up. And that was it. That was it. That was the last conversation with my son. I see he calls me when I was over there. He would call me regularly, because that is how I raised them. 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls. I raised them and said, look, this family must get this man. Call. They say, Mommy, you reached to work. Mommy, you're going now. Mommy, everything is okay. There's something ongoing. He was a very good swimmer. He served this government, Guyana Police Force. He worked at TSU in Georgetown. How many years? About 7 to 8 years he worked at TSU. And he was one of the boy would go when they get a big competition with army and police way up with the place named Brian. What the place name? Where they just get competition where they got to do this run and shoot and all these things. He was one of the young man. Look again, photograph to show. All right. And then he left. He was also guarding the U.S. ambassador. Very nice young man. But the reason why he left when riot time, my son gonna call me. He said, Betula, I got to go. They put on big thing and gun. They got to go. Say, son, steady back. He said, this walk, me said, son, and I'm a prayerful woman. I say, I'm praying you left this walk. I want nobody kill you. I want you kill nobody. And he leave the work. Then he started working with Transport and Harbor. Just over 2 years. But he always complaining. He always complaining when he wants to leave the job, you know. He applied to Exxon and he applied another shipping company. But he was waiting on answers for them to call him back. All right, he said, Mommy, I ain't gonna left now. When any one of them call me first, they say walk a take him.
It's crazy.
None of them never call. My son, he didn't introduce this girlfriend to me, but he showed me a video. I have it in my phone. Same Friday. He said, This is the
Jeez,
last
bro.
girl I bring. The girl already take me to
Oh,
her
man.
place. So by right, when you see you come back from your vacation, I am going to bring the girl. So the girl would have come this weekend. He and
Jeez, bro. This one is hard to listen to. This one is hard to listen to. Raising power to you, bro. And condolences to his mom and all the loved ones at this time. I'm telling you some rough stories, but we got to make sure that we put it into the record so persons could understand the trauma that a lot of us will have to endure because of this negligence that caused this tragedy. Let me hear some more about
Monday, talk to you. Me just say your traveler water top must learn to pray to God and call upon God for safety when you're there water top. So people call me and tell me. So the boat that my son walking pan capsized. You try but then I get through it. Well, me hoping to see alive. I want to see him alive. He said either some bush can joke up or wait for somebody go rescue you. Uh, me not sleep, me not eat, me not do nothing. Me son always is a good person to me. He is my back brace to me. A long
it.
run and I walk on the
Oh boy. This thing and people talking about who for hold accountable. So all of this is just gonna go down the drain, Delta9 travelers. All of this is just gonna be a situation where persons are gonna come out and they're gonna talk about this and talk about that, and then little while after that, this is another one under the rug. Are we gonna allow that? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Somebody and some amount of persons got to be held accountable for what went down. We're talking about more than 100 lives, Delta9 travelers. Big up to all of those that are live with us right now. Take a couple of seconds if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that thumbs up button so that persons all over the globe will get a chance to see and understand directly from those affected.
From the last trip. Tell me about the boat get problem and it's supposed to thing, and me I know you guys see a next boat when you might go in, I know which boat you might go on the next trip when you got thing. So I know.
So this was supposed to be the last
Well, I think this is much the last trip with the boat and then it's gone repair. I just pray that they find me and come home safe. Since Thursday night he come from work and he say he need something to eat, so I give he and he left around 9. And since then I see back Friday he talk to me, but I see back from since then. Well, he go at his house in Bath and then he left to go to work Saturday. Cause he said he got to sail out. But from since then I never back anything. Well, I pray that they find me and he's safe and everything, because it's hard to see. Well, you get a child too, and it's not easy. It's when he come back from the last trip. He tell me about the boat get problem and it's supposed to thing, and me I know you guys see a next boat where you might go.
He used to take part with the run and shoot, the competition with the police and soldier when he was in TSU. So he was trapped in that cabin. So he hadn't the chance. Maybe he was sleeping as well. And it happened so fast. So You sleeping on the water? No. That's it. Yes. We always complaining about this boat. Every month, about 2 to 3 times, the boat break it down. I accustomed to Kevin coming home like within a week and a half. He would be home. Not much time off. He come like 5 in this afternoon. Tomorrow morning at 4. He would have to go back.
He spoke about quitting. The boat was not overloaded by passengers or by cargo.
Money and he did all the courses.
There was no engine problem or any mechanical problem. Even the survivors who made videos from the hospital, they're telling you what happened. And it had nothing to do with overload. And
They're telling me what happened, but the story that we're hearing, Delta9 travelers, that's why it's important. I said, please and thank you. Let persons all over the globe get a chance to hear directly from those that are directly gonna have to deal with this trauma, right? The loved ones that are affected. Let me hear what Mr. Muhammad's father got to say about this.
Today I've decided to come forward to say a few words to you on this recent development by the Guyana Police Force, the Major Crime Unit, and the Special Branch Unit, where they are trying to frame my son as Azruddin. I want to make it clear that based on everything that I know, he has absolutely no involvement in the paper sheriff's murder. And for some reason, the police force is making it look like a paper sheriff is some kind of angel. We all know that paper sheriff has a criminal background and has been associated with the most notorious criminal in this country, Raj Khan. So as the saying goes, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. But who pulled the trigger? That's the big question. Who pulled the trigger? And why is it that they're trying, after 5.5 years, to frame an innocent man? Recently, they have arrested 4 hard-working people. Mr. Raj Kumar, mechanic, Mark Ritzman, a security guard who's working with us, Mr. Singh, the guy that does tint work for the entire country, Mr. Udu, someone who we have known for a very long time. And these are all people who are associated with Azrin Muhammad Racing Team. These are hard-working guys with families. They arrested them. They placed them in lockups. They offer them deals. They try to coerce them. They offer them money. They give them 272 hours. What is really going on? How can the police force conduct an investigation like that? Actually telling people that they must lie. Azrin has exposed the story of the auto dealer. And he has exposed all the documents as it relates to the auto dealer. Who the car belonged to, someone that he doesn't know at all. They coerce that man, they lock up that old man. We have never seen him, Azrin has never seen him in all our life, to change his statement. His son came forward and said that. Azrin has exposed how many attempts they made to reach people who are in prison, to reach carjackers, to get them to cooperate with them, to frame him up. And these men, although they are criminals, they have refused to do that. And they continue to put innocent people in lockups and trying to coerce them and to offer them all sorts of deals, which they bluntly refuse. Now, don't let me tell you about the state of the lockups that they put them. Unbelievable. You know, the problem is when the same people and their families have to go into these lockups, then they will really understand. Now, recently, they arrested another man who worked with us. His name is Travis Eden. Now, Travis is a deportee. Travis has committed major crime in the US. He hid all those things from us. They arrested him. They offered him deals, and he cooperated with them. They offer him money. They offer him, protection. They offer him all sorts of things. The same set of police officers. And get him to lie on these innocent men.
Serious times when we really analyze what's going on right here, Delta9 travelers. Because another person, and the person is cooperating now. Telling you. Another person arrested, plus the person is cooperating. Yeah, they were taking place right here. Updates coming in on updates, headlines on top of headlines. Never a dull moment in Guyana. The opposition leader father coming out and highlighting certain things about what's going on with the paper shard situation. Right? We hear some of these details now coming in from the president.
God continue to bless the brave men and women of this country who continue to be out there. May God guide them. May God guide all of us. And may we all use this opportunity to be better citizens, better neighbors, and better family members of this great Guyanese family. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Hear my humble cry.
While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. And everybody can sing along with us. Savior, Savior. Savior, Savior. Hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Let me at thy throne of mercy. Find a sweet relief.
Persons at the vigil with the president, still sending up that good energy to those that would have transcended. As we continue to hear from those directly affected, give us certain accounts so we could analyze what's really taking place with the developments, the investigation, and a lot of things that was happening on the MV Barima.
I accustomed to Kevin coming home, like within a week and a half, he would be home. Not much time off. He come like 5 in this afternoon, tomorrow morning at 4. He would have to go back.
He spoke about quitting or anything.
Yes, he done apply. He spending money and he did all the courses. Seaman courses, all the courses he did. He spent a lot of money. He already applied to Exxon. Whereby the 30th of this month, this is one of my son, he works there. He said this month, the 30th, they're reviewing the application. All right? And another place he applied, he told me, I'm going to leave this job because I am not comfortable.
PA, one of our insightful moderators, is saying, listen, buddy, Guyana, under the PPP regime, is the most corrupt country in the southern hemisphere. Listen, I even heard persons mention that it might be one of the most corrupt countries in the entire world. And that was coming from a history buff and a political scholar, I'm telling you. Big up yourself, PA. Thanks for dropping them highlights and insights into the comment section. Swan girl, what's going on? Thanks for tuning into the live. Why is Bishop is trying to cover up all the lies? I'm telling you, people analyzing it and calling it for what it is. Calling it for what it is. He's the only person with half this ship and know everything what's going on about the ship, that the shipping get no engine problem, this, that, and the third. When you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a set of different people coming out directly affected, family members directly connected and close with persons that used to work on the vessel saying, hey, this boat used to get set a problem. Plus it used to overload. You know, a lot of people saying they used to frighten for the family when they gotta go there and work. On the particular vessel, I'm telling you, as we continue Delta9 Travelers, big up to all of those who are a part of the live right now.
But you can't leave now. You can't leave for work. You gotta get a work first before you go into another job. So that was the position with my son.
He didn't get to leave.
He didn't get to leave. He had wanted to leave. Every time he come, he get 2 hours, Miss June. His son always with a yellow envelope running. So he get his girl on the main. The mother go to El Shaddai. Get us do printing on this name. Sometimes he call Petal. Petal say, flash the picture, night.
And Quincy on the boat. I see you like right away. I get to like some man, you know, them Quincy and I me know for yes, a man maybe that went to come to the shop. Me know that the gamble. They start to know they finance, they don't find people. They said some transport people end up turning around and helping the rescue. Okay. So they know if he in the military, because he can't find. So they call it transport boat on and Quincy on the boat. I see you like right away. I get to like some man, you know, them Quincy and I me know for yes, a man maybe that went to come to the shop. Me know that the gamble. They start to know they finance, they don't find people. They said some transport people end up turning around and helping the rescue. Okay. So they know if he in the military, because he can't find. So they call it transport boat on and Quincy on the boat. I see you like right away. I get to like some man, you know, them Quincy and I me know for yes, a man maybe that went to come to the shop. Me know that the gamble. They start to know they finance, they don't find people. They said some transport people end up turning around and helping the rescue. Okay. So they know if he in the military, because he can't find. So they call it transport boat on and Quincy on the boat. I see you like right away. I get to like some man, you know, them Quincy and I me know for yes, a man maybe that went.
Them type of messages make you get schizophrenic, yeah, telling you. Condolences to the family and all of the loved ones. There's so much going on with this thing, though. Because persons are analyzing it and they're coming to all types of conclusions about steps that definitely need to be made, right? And we're going to get some of these insights coming in from the leader of VPAC.
falls directly at the feet of the government. What method was used to calculate where the passengers weighed, what the cargoes weighed, or were we using what we call in Guyana average? How can you demonstrate whether that vessel had the required amount of cargo or not? The other admission that the minister made last night, that this vessel was carrying commercial cargo, which was petroleum product. I'm sure you guys missed that. That vessel is not designed to carry fuel. It is designed to carry passengers and dry cargo. How was that cargo stored? Was it stored in a safe manner? Was it highly flammable? That was another disaster waiting to happen. Is this a normal practice? These are admission of the minister himself. Those three right there, I believe, should call for an immediate criminal investigation for the negligence of the people responsible for the 150 lives that we are now sitting here mourning. What we've seen in Guyana today is a pattern of negligence, and it's becoming norm. You go around Guyana, a pothole after a road is built after a year becomes the norm. An unsafe practice where you find 30 children in norm. Why would you sit there and try to establish there's 150? I just heard a minister said this vessel's capacity is 150. I asked for the minister to demonstrate where they seat in on that vessel for 150 passengers, because none of us have gotten into a plane or any other aircraft and seen people laying on the floor. What are the standard protocol when you
100% wild-crafted sea moss. Only the best, 'cause you deserve nothing less. 8 Butterfly.
8 Butterfly Sea Moss Powder. Take your daily routine to the next level. Natural vegan superfood powder. Essential multivitamin powder made just for you.
8 Butterfly Black Seed, loaded with antioxidants and essential nutrients for your body's needs. Breathe better, feel better, live healthier.
All the benefits of black seed oil without the taste. 8 Butterfly Black Seed Capsule.
8 Butterfly, healthy, wealthy always. As we hear some more of these details coming in from the leader of VPAC, highlighting some of the steps that the opposition is going to be making forward. But guess what? When I was watching this press conference, I noticed that there was no representative from the APNU or from the PNC. And little did I know that would have been the center of a big back and forth. And we're gonna get into some of those details right here on this live as we analyze some more of what the leader of VPAC is saying.
Load these vessels with these are public transportation. This is not a manned private minibus. Thirdly, this is the most important factor where this is concerned. Who was responsible for that vessel, which is supposed to be the crew members? We've all traveled to Port Kaituma. A lot of us would have traveled to the United States. I want to give this to you guys so you understand. I don't want to use too many shipping terms. Not because a pilot or 17 crew members are on a vessel means they are licensed to maneuver that particular vessel. They have what's called licensing. You can have a pilot license to move a plane from Ogle to Port Kaituma. Does that mean that same pilot can take a 747 from JFK to New York? The minister must publicly share with every Guyanese that those 17 crew members had the required training and they were certified to maneuver that particular vessel. The next question I have for the minister to make public, this has nothing to do with investigation, because this has become a pattern in Guyana where we have normalized unsafe practice. We have normalized corruption. So today is not about politics. We must come together as a people and demand accountability from this government. This is not about politics. The requirement I'm asking, each and every one of those crew members should have undergone some level of safety training. Were that ever done? We ask for those certificates to be published, not just for this vessel, for all the other vessels that are operating. Same for the scales. We must be able to show whether the scale was on board the MV Barima, whether it's on the wharf, whether it was on the forklift, and same when these vessels leave Port Kaituma. How are these cargo loaded onto these vessels, and how are they monitored?
A lot of questions, a lot of right-thinking questions, if you're really analyzing it, that is coming in from the MP. Clarence, what's going on? Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of the live presentation and for dropping these insights into the comments. Let the media go and interview the captain and the crew members. I'm telling you, they would never do that. and it depends on who is the members of the media that is going to get that privilege. That would be a hell of a privilege right now, because I'm telling you, it might put a lot of conversations out there that a lot of persons are not willing to reveal at the moment. Because the captain might got things that he might want to highlight, you know. That they definitely don't want out.
The gentleman was arrested on arrival by the Coast Guard. Imagine the local people from the Pomeranian are coming out here to help with the search and recovery, and the guy has been allegedly arrested by the Coast Guard. How much more must we suffer? Sherrod is apparently arrested for flying a drone over the boats outside of the Charity waterfront. The guy who took his boat and took the body in, he is arrested for being out here on the water. How much more? How much more must we go through? We pick up the arm, baby.
No, well, why does when I locate the body, I just make a post with the coordinates,
and then come.
And if I see they come, I would go and get them.
All right. So we got ahead.
Another body over this side.
Where?
Where one of my other boats pumped.
So there's another bodies out there.
So we locate one back here.
So we got one behind there and one behind. So turn this side.
One there.
So viewers out in the distance, one body is at that boat, and another one.
Yeah.
Another one is back this way.
Another one back this side.
All right. We go ahead into. We go in and see we get Sherrod out.
Professional. I want to arrest me.
Yeah.
We coming back that way, right? The portion there have one
Scenes from the water as persons look and try their best to do as much as they can, you know, because I know Guyana, the sun gone down at a certain time out there's pitch black. You understand? Big up to all of those who are a part of the live right now. Who are the travelers in the chat with us? PA saying this. We all know that the Guyanese long haul ferry boats, passengers sling hammocks in every place that they could. Yeah. You gotta catch your rest, and people don't play. Put up a hammock, and in no time you could, you know, make yourself a bit more comfortable. Marcy is pointing out that the APNU MPs was on the water. Nobody from the PPP was on that water. Telling you. Patrick, what's going on? Patrick is saying, if Ali really wants accountability, he would call on the countries to help pull the wreckage up to retrieve the black box. As I said again for emphasis, I wonder if it even has a black box. It should though, right? But if Ali really wants accountability, he would call on countries to help pull the wreckage up and retrieve the black box if it's not already retrieved. We put a one there, just just in case. Because you never know what they were able to do. They were able to dive and get into the vessel. By now they would have located the vessel. So let's hope that they're able to retrieve that and able to use it in the way that it's necessary, right? Swan Girl is saying, so when the police beat an unalive young Afro-Guyanese man, he never come out and say nothing. Why he saying no? All about his son. I'm telling you. There's always be, Swan Girl. Sometimes people is feel for their own. Or it could just be a situation where, hey, didn't feel the need to speak on that other situation. It might just be just like you said. Just like you said. Big up yourself. Thanks for being a part of the live.
They've said that they found opioids in their system, so they've held them. Now, we are also aware on the ground here in Guyana that the same engineer complained bitterly up to Friday that he did not want to go on this boat because it was not seaworthy. And he said this to his superiors. This boat, and you come here and you ask anybody, they will tell you that this boat is the source of constant complaints. And we're hearing now from the members of the crew, their family who have been, those crew members' families who are just now coming to grips with what has happened. You keep hearing from them that there have been complaints from their family over and over and over again about not wanting to work on board this vessel because of just how unseaworthy it was. And then you have the minister of the government.
Let me ask you, Aranza, as you mentioned the crew, do you have numbers? Are there numbers yet about just how many of the crew have been rescued or recovered, or did they all survive?
No, they did not all survive. The last I knew yesterday, there were 17 crew. I think only 3 of the crew have been accounted for and are alive. So there's been such significant loss of life, Calestra. It is unimaginable. And then you have a situation where now they cannot even definitively tell you the number of persons. So it is entirely possible that we have in excess of 100 Guyanese babies, children, men and women at the bottom of the ocean.
Crazy times, and persons internationally as well, as you can see, are very interested in what's really going on with this. When you hear these type of things, you don't hear it a lot, and it's not something that is usually a headline in Guyana. I'm telling you, one of the biggest tragedies in the history of our country, one of the biggest tragedies that we definitely will not allow them to brush under the rug, especially when it comes down to the real facts of the matter, right? And guess what? There's some other headlines that we definitely got to update one another with on this live presentation. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding going around, if you want to look at it like that. What do we hear directly from the doctor right now?
Specifically to a post made by Melly Mel. And I ask Guyanese all around to reject that statement as being very inaccurate. That is not a true reflection of what happened. And I will say, in my personal capacity, I was aware even though late notice, I was aware that there was a call for a joint press conference. What we did not have is clarity on what the press conference will say, what will be our position, and I wanted to go it step by step. In my first mind, I asked, is there a joint press statement? There was no joint press statement so available. It was not only until I started to look at the live, I recognized that there was no joint press statement, but it was a joint press conference, which meant that every party individually presented their own statement. Now, nothing is wrong with that, but had the clarification come to me that it was a platform, a joint platform being presented, then of course, many of the people who called, my response to them might have been different. But I thought it was the call was for a joint press conference, and that we were going to present a joint press statement. Now, all of us are singing from the same hymn book, but there were a number of concerns that I had. Concern one, has the party been officially or formally invited or notified? That is for the party to answer, but I can tell you, based on my investigations, so far, there was no official notice which was sent to the party. Secondly, conversations were had with members of parliament. Members of parliament, and I make this very clear, members of parliament, they have a specific role to play. Now, if a party has a structure in terms of its leaders, are the leaders talking? In this regard, no. Then
Greetings, grant to Delta9 Media.
Are the general secretaries talking? No. So when you see a decision not being made, or you're asking why the members of parliament are not there, you would recognize that the members of parliament,
which show that you guys are together and have, the interest of Guyanese people, regardless how this thing comes about next time. This is where the party, the APNU, are showing still that you have a problem with the winning party. You understand me? All these big things and all this should happen. Listen, the call for togetherness, to speak together on a platform as the opposition party who want this government replaced because of what they're doing to Guyanese people. It don't matter. If the concern is of you guys is Guyanese, this is where you see people in the feeling. We are talking about the Guyanese. We don't want all these big things that should have happened because of this thing, and this is what's supposed to happen, and this don't should go back to one meeting. The thing is a giant opposition for things. You come, you put your input, they put their input on a platform where there was questioned by reporters, and the people get to see that, bro.
Okay.
You understand me, right? You see where I'm coming from with it?
Yeah, man. So you think it's an action thing? You think it's already for action and not for no long talking?
Yes, too much foolish things Dr. Todd is saying.
No, but Dr. Todd is saying that he's ready for action. And you can hear it as the interview continues, and he highlights, particular ways really trying to get that. But he's saying that he's ready for action. They've been talking for a while. Yeah.
All the guys is telling you all of you guys on one platform and
Yeah.
you see that y'all are 12 weeks together.
Good.
All these rules and this and that don't come into play, bro. This is where I see people in their feelings, bro.
Mm.
So these stupid people listen to all them things and regulation and this and that. Bro, you think the people that tell you how much people die? Kill them, bro. You think people want to hear about
You can't show me look Harvey coming with a woman out the hotel. Then see, I don't
Wow.
know this fight though.
Discussion what y'all want to happen and hold the government accountable together. Bro, that would uplift the Guyanese people. But when you come in, why you wasn't there? Because this is what they call for, and this wasn't the protocol. This is not the protocol they call for. It's not supposed to be like that. If they want they should have rewrite them a written statement and what. Bro, that's not what we're talking about, bro. Now you sound like them. I don't care how you come for me, but please, I'm just, it's not about the pride, bro. This is something like people in their feelings, bro. If this man then call and say, listen, we all come together and do this thing. Bro, show two people that are something, bro. Show the people that you guys could work together.
Yeah.
But don't come on the media and start talking about all these things. People don't want to hear all of that. We wait for all of that what's going to happen. Another one will happen again and everybody will come out and say something. Bro, that's the thought. Come on, man. I respect you, but bro, don't let it do you that. Don't let it put you there for sit down and say all these things in front of the people placed in a crisis, bro. I deal it.
Big up yourself. Thanks for calling in. I'm telling you, persons are saying, hey, we're not buying it. Well, guess what? We can hear some of what Melly Mel is saying. You don't know Melly Mel is going to come in fiery. You don't know Melly Mel is going to come in fiery. And then we're going to hear some more from the Honorable Doctor on this particular situation as we try to analyze what really taking place here.
Don't get. Wow. So let me correct something. Let me make that correction. None of y'all in the PNC, including Dexter, Terrence Campbell, Vince Rye, Riaz. Hello, he get more story than y'all get story on y'all still. So y'all ain't got no business find mine in them PNC group. You understand? So y'all keep talking to y'all little PNC group. Y'all ain't got no business find mine. If I could find out the PP business, who's y'all? Who's y'all? Y'all get any business for anybody mine? Let me just make that clear. Right? Oh, how somebody leak some. Nobody gotta leak nothing to me. Nobody gotta leak anything to me. Y'all self like talk. Y'all in the party, they sell out y'all own self. Half of y'all in the party that sit down there, you're selling guns to the Apache, as them old people say. I am bare tick with the PPP. So please, clean y'all house before y'all even come, but people bringing out secret and people talking secret. And Dexter Todd, right? I sign it because I don't stutter, I don't mix my word. And I say this respectfully. Y'all in the party, you and Ali y'all and Terrence Campbell and y'all is Arbery. Yes, people. Yes, sir. Yes, leader. This. Yes, that. This is why y'all can't leave nobody.
Program that Terrence Campbell.
They can't as intelligent member of parliament sit and say to put Arbery to sit down in a meeting and say, Arbery, look, this here in walking, you see what happened? This here in walking. But they're so afraid of losing their spot in the party that they want to play nice and rub Arbery head, hoping that he disappear. Arbery ain't going no way. He ain't going no way unless y'all force you out. I say I'm speaking to everybody. Man, Norman, I stuttering? Norman, I stuttering? Me stuttering, Norman? Me want, look now, and me want political friends, I don't know. Me, I don't want friends. I, Melly Mel, don't want friends. Because I am mature enough to realize that the program is much bigger than y'all. And when it's Arbery and the MPs, them are going to realize that the program is much bigger than y'all and Wayne and Mohammed and Odessa. and protocol and who decide they're gonna call and who feel as though them is a big boy and the leader got to call them before they come to a meeting and a bunch of wash and nonsense. I says a wash and nonsense with y'all in the PNC. Y'all gotta get a call. Oh, the opposition is not going to be there. So why must I, Aubrey, be there? Like, what joint press conference on a matter of a national tragedy, disaster, got to do with the opposition and who?
What do you think, Delta9 travelers? Drop it into the comment section or call it in. Definitely something for us to analyze coming in there from Melly Mel. And remember, Dr. Todd had this to say about the whole situation.
I'm going live here now because as they speak of the leader of the People's National Congress and the chairman of APNU being on the East Bank coming out of a hotel, here we are in Brooklyn, having a little evening, enjoying the sun. So just be careful, be careful, be careful, people be careful of these
Hey, one Delta9 Media, I'll tell you.
Here we are in Brooklyn, having a good evening, enjoying it, whilst them on social media accusing him of coming out of a hotel somewhere on the East Bank. If y'all don't learn to listen, y'all gonna learn. Let them keep going on. Let them keep going on. Well, yes, we there on the East Bank on Logan. All right.
Tell you, they're always trying the best, allegedly, to frame Honorable Mr. Norton. Man, they're telling Brooklyn chilling out. You know? Till in Brooklyn. And then man say, hey, there's another one man coming out there. I tell you, not at all. Wrong person, wrong bang. Big up yourself to all the travelers live with us right now in this live presentation. Can you hear me and hear me clearly, Delta9 travelers? Big up yourself and welcome in. If you're now coming into the presentation, well, we're getting into some of these details and we're going to help you to understand better by letting the doctor clarify for us some of what's going on right here.
Only forms one part or one branch or one section of the overall party. Now, this press conference highlighted 90% of what the APNU has been saying all along. And had we known that you just wanted a press statement, then any one of us could have supplied you a press statement with what we have been saying all along for donkey years. And that just been, you just read that out. We want to be able to see a moving forward with actions which are a lot more clearly defined. And if you really want to be honest with yourselves, Guyanese, we have done a lot of talks. Please do not be fooled. There has to be a coming together of the parties for actions.
Action.
For actions.
Action, okay.
Not talks. We've had enough talks. All that is being said by all of the opposition parties, you look at it, you analyze it, you dissect it. Are there any difference in what is being said? You will find little or none. So,
we all think Delta9 travelers. Drop it into the comment section or definitely call it in. It's still live and we analyzing and trying to suss out what really take place. Well, guess what? It's time we hear from Mr. Bailey that was there representing VPAC. We hear exactly what Mr. Bailey has to say on this situation.
Actually, I have a great respect. I have a lot of respect for Dexter Todd. Darwin and I sat down with Mr. Todd and did a podcast the other day in the Guyana Development Bank. And I personally spoke to Mr. Norton yesterday, who I encouraged to join us today. I personally did. So I understand all the misgivings that not everyone has the best relationship right now. Every camp has their own issues. You guys even know our long-standing issues between VPAC and Forward Guyana Movement, and we have a right to that parliamentary seat that we have been denied thus far. Did you not just see us sit at a table with Amanda Walton? We sat there with her. It does not matter who you might have. I personally criticized the leader of the opposition in the last few weeks. It's not the first time I have done so. I called him out for some hypocrisy. At the other time I share his videos, I give him kudos for being out there helping to retrieve the dead bodies of our fellow citizens at the time the government seems to lack the capacity. I could criticize him and I could call Azudin out for the good that he's doing. Okay? My point is it does not matter what personal grievances people have at this moment. This is the opportune time for those of us that are mature to put aside those little differences and grievances and hold ahead, hold each other's hands, and come together, not for our own benefit, not for likes and shares, but to express our heartbreak, our grief, and our outrage at what has happened to the people of the MV Barima ferry. That's all. That's all.
Call who for set up the meeting and about protocol and this and you know. All y'all, Dexter, all y'all all about the right protocol and this and this. All listener and including you, Dexter. Y'all, they suddenly want to use protocol and rules and this when it's convenient for y'all to push y'all narrative. Then y'all just know about protocol. Y'all just conveniently want to use protocol as an excuse for nonsense. And don't get me wrong, Norman. I like this group of MP. I like this group of the PNC MP. I think they've been doing a fantastic job. I think they've been out there. Me, Melly Mel, never used to share PNC posts. Because I said, me share nothing for them. Me share nothing for Arbery. Because I was so upset after the last election. Yeah. But then I see this Arbery, then I see this new group of MP. I see one video with Psycho and Dexter Todd singing in Linden and knocking the drum. They started to do grassroots politics and connect back with the people. And I love that. And I said, I like this group of MP. So don't come and I hate when y'all come on this internet and try to tell people, oh, I come out here to tell y'all lie. Over the years I've been doing this, I have proven to not only I have not only proven to people that I've been one of those persons, and I'm tooting my own horn here. They say don't toot your own horn. I toot my own horn. I'm one of those persons. Right? I'm tooting my own horn. I'm one of those persons that has been speaking power to truth for years. Right? I'm one of those persons that if I say question, if I tell you go question, I'm one of those persons that have been saying to you guys, question 90% of the thing that this government says to you because it's lie. And it has been proven on 90% of the time to be fact. So I didn't just get my name Melly Mel because a liar is not something that's come behind my name. So me misrepresent nothing because first of all, Dexter, I was on the phone with Darwin Best, with Francis, with Odessa, and if they want to come out and talk, they want to come out and talk. And to the young man who all about who ain't leak information to me, young man, I hate when y'all like come out and talk and y'all on the behind the scenes when all these discussions happen. There does be no way in the room when these conversations are happening, but they like to come out and say, oh, somebody do this or somebody that. Young man, I was on the phone with Odessa, Darwin, and Francis. I was the one who encouraged them. I said, man, are we praying hard? Bali doesn't want to show up at the press conference. Y'all turn up at the vigil.
Yes.
I told them, I advised them to vigil last night. I said, extend an olive branch to him. Show him that y'all want to work together and y'all ain't about fighting. Odessa and Win MP them turn up there. Francis and Darwin and them turn up there. Just to extend an olive branch to the PNC, to Dexter and Coretta McDonald and all y'all that was there. I send them out there. Just for the sake of unity, so y'all don't come on this internet and try to make it look, oh, I misrepresent, or I lying to, or I trying to lying to anybody.
So just for the sake of the record,
don't do
Odessa, Melly Mel, sorry. For the sake of the record, did Terrence Campbell leak any information with regards to this situation to you?
Norman, I just said I was on the phone with Francis during all the discussion was on the phone. What happening? I was also on the phone
for the record.
At Aubrey Norton. I was also still on the phone when Francis left the call. Go and call you, talk to you when you give you a whole list of things that is wrong. A whole list of things here now from since the election time. Are we still vexed about 10 or 8 things that he's still holding behind his head? He want to communicate. We have to fix the.
Well, we get a chance to hear one side, but it's always good. And it's our practice over here at Delta9 Media to analyze as many sides to what really going on right here. It's time that we hear some more from Dr. Todd about this.
Order. You can't blame him if he loves order. And I love the fact that he loves order. And he is waiting on the day. He is waiting on the day that the opposition leader, Azadine Mohammed, will pick up the phone or will write to him and meet with him.
You know, one of the discussions that I was brought into.
Well, guess what, Delta9 travelers? What are your views? You had a chance to analyze as many parts to what is coming in about that headline, and we had a chance to hear directly from those who were affected, the survivors, the loved ones, directly connected to everything with MV Barima. A number of headlines, a number of updates that we definitely would have covered right here on the live presentation. I want to thank you again for being a part of this live presentation here with me on this early morning flight. I wonder if we should do an early morning flight more usual. Drop it in the comment section. Drop a 9 in the comment section. Say, yeah, Delta9, come through in the morning and drop some of the insights, the updates, and everything that's going on early part of the day for us. And I definitely will consider making this a usual flight time that I would come on and drop the headlines. All right, because I know there's so much going on with everything with the MV Barima and a number of other things, right? Who's in the chat with me right now? Who is in the chat? Big up to all the travelers live with us. Who's in the chat with us? Stephen is saying, I believe absolutely perfectly exists in the world. I'm guessing you having your own conversation probably with someone in the chat. I tell you, this chat is be lit. People is having their own thing going on in this something. Big up yourself, Patrick. Patrick is saying Mohammed knows that Norton is in Jazio pocket. He's seen him at the Last Supper. I telling you. Allegedly. Hey, you see, just now people claiming that they see allegedly see Nathan coming out of the hotel and Nathan say, hey, here's my video proof and I tell him Brooklyn plus watch. 1, 2, 3 other people here chilling, sipping something, you know, relaxing, enjoying the day. So let me see what's gonna be the updates coming in for this. Pick up yourself though, Patrick. Thanks for dropping the comments in the comment section, man. I'm telling you. We definitely need unity because remember the last set of success that we're gonna see coming in from the opposition team, especially PNC, APNU, you know, their last real success where they went in to being the leading party in the country, forming the government, right? Was via coalition. So that's definitely something that they definitely gotta get together moving closer to elections. The unity is a must. Big up to PA, big up to all the moderators, big up to everyone that was in the live, all the frequent travelers, all the persons who are here with us for the first time. If you haven't already, subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it will keep you connected with everything trending in Guyana and in the diaspora. One love, and I'll catch you in the next one.
8 Butterfly Sea Moss Powder. Take your daily routine to the next level. Natural vegan superfood powder, essential multivitamin powder made just for you.